Your job is to discover it, decide it, and devote yourself to it. No man climbs the mountain by accident. He chooses the peak, maps the path, and begins the ascent. But one deliberate step at a time. Your destiny is your mountain. Your purpose is your map. Your purpose is your map. The rules you follow of planning, discipline, and perseverance are the tools that make the climb possible. And when you reach the summit, it will not be by chance, but by choice. So the question then becomes not whether you can change your destiny, but whether you will. Will you choose a purpose so clear, so compelling, that it organizes your entire being around its pursuit? Will you follow the rules that sharpen your focus, strengthen your will, and fuel your journey? If so, then your destiny is not a distant dream. It is an inevitable reality, waiting for your command. Discipline is the bridge between wishes and reality. Every person at some point in life carries within them the flicker of a dream, a vision of a life richer, freer, and more fulfilling. But dreams without discipline are illusions. They comfort the mind for a moment, but never manifest in the world. Discipline is the price we pay to transform invisible hopes into visible results. It is the silent force that separates the man who merely wants from the man who achieves. Rules are often seen as limitations, but this perception is a fatal misunderstanding. Rules, when aligned with your purpose, are not chains. They are guides. They are the frameworks that discipline your thoughts, your time, and your habits. They demand that you trade the ease of today for the greatness of tomorrow, and only those who make that trade consistently earn the right to shape their destiny. The undisciplined mind seeks comfort. It resists effort, avoids pain, and prefers the path of least resistance. But comfort, while seductive, is the enemy of growth. A man who chooses comfort over challenge will never stretch his potential, never break through his limitations, never command his fate. Discipline, on the other hand, embraces discomfort. It understands that every meaningful goal lies on the other side of effort. It knows that the pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts a lifetime. Following rules with discipline creates structure. Structure becomes rhythm. Rhythm becomes momentum. And momentum is a powerful force. It carries you forward even when motivation fades. The disciplined person does not wait to feel inspired. He acts because he has committed. He rises early not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. He studies, trains, sacrifices again and again, not because the world watches, but because he has given himself a personal command that he refuses to break. There is nothing glamorous about discipline in the moment. It is often quiet, repetitive, and solitary. Repetitive and solitary. It is the decision to keep going when results are not immediate. He becomes strong in a world that hesitates, and strength of character is the soil in which destiny takes root. Consider this. Rules create order, and order multiplies energy. When your day is governed by discipline, when your time is used intentionally, when your focus is protected, when your habits are chosen deliberately, then each small action builds upon the last. You move from chaos to control, from reaction to creation. Oh, new creation. Life no longer pushes you around. You begin to shape life on your terms. And it all begins with a decision to follow the rules, even when no one is watching, even when it's hard, even when your old self protests. Discipline also forges self-respect. Every time you do what you said you would do, you build trust with yourself. That trust becomes confidence. That confidence becomes identity. You no longer see yourself as someone who merely tries. You become someone who does. Your word carries power. Your actions carry weight. Your actions carry weight. And with every disciplined choice, you build the inner strength required to carry greater responsibility, to face greater challenges, to seize greater opportunities. No empire was ever built on wishes. No masterpiece was ever painted by accident. No legend ever emerged from laziness. Behind every towering success is a foundation of rules followed with precision, effort sustained through discipline. The athlete who trains while others sleep, the entrepreneur who works while others party, the student who studies while others drift, these are not superhumans. They are individuals who have made discipline a lifestyle, not a moment. And yet, the path of discipline is available to all. It is not reserved for the gifted. It is not dependent on background, resources, or luck. It is a choice, one that can be made daily, hourly, even minute by minute. The rules are simple, but not easy. Get clear on your priorities. Cut out what doesn't matter. Practice consistency over intensity. Hold yourself accountable, and most of all, act whether you feel like it or not. Many people wait for the right mood, the perfect time, the sign that it's meant to be. Meant to be. But destiny does not respond to feelings. It responds to actions. The disciplined man moves forward despite his moods. He builds routines that operate even when inspiration is absent. He knows that greatness is not an emotional state. It is a product of repeated effort, governed by rules, driven by discipline. And what is the result of this kind of living? Freedom. Not the false freedom of indulgence, but the true freedom that comes from mastery. The freedom to choose your life rather than be ruled by circumstance. They protect your time, your energy, your focus. They guard your goals from distraction, your mind from laziness, and your future from waste. And when followed with discipline, they become the very bridge that carries you from who you are to who you are meant to be. Destiny does not yield to the wishful or the weak. It bends to the disciplined. It honors those who have earned their way, step by deliberate step, through sacrifice, integrity, and effort in effort. To follow the rules with discipline is to sign a contract with your future, one written not in ink, but in action. And those who sign such a contract can rest assured their destiny will not be denied. Your thoughts become things, but only when they are backed by action. This is a truth so simple, yet so profoundly misunderstood by those who dream but never do. The mind is the workshop in which all success is first born. Every great achievement begins as a thought, an idea of imagination. But no thought, no matter how brilliant or inspired, can change your life unless it is acted upon with relentless intent. Dreams without action are fantasies. Fantasies, plans without execution are just ink on paper. It is the union of thought and action that creates destiny. Rules exist not to suppress your thinking, but to channel it into decisions, into direction, into deliberate effort. A thought without a rule is like water without a container. It spills, it evaporates, it goes nowhere. But when you follow rules that convert thought into purposeful, this is the core principle behind every success story in history. They did not stop at belief. They built. They did not settle for inspiration. They implemented. Every rule followed in the name of your goal, every action taken in service of your dream, is a step across the bridge from the world of thought into the world of results. This bridge is not walked once. It is traveled daily, and the toll is paid with discipline, energy, and persistence. Many people fall into the trap of overthinking. They mistake planning for progress. They confuse learning with doing. They imagine success in vivid detail, yet take no real steps toward it. Why? Because action is uncomfortable. Action exposes you to failure. Action forces you to confront the gap between who you are and who you want to become. And yet, it is only through action that that gap can be closed. No amount of thinking, wishing, or even praying can substitute for the work that must be done. Rules help strip away the illusions. They make your intentions visible. A man who says he wants to be wealthy but refuses to follow rules about saving, investing, and building value is simply lying to himself. A person who dreams of building something great but breaks the rules of time management, consistency, and integrity has built their vision on sand. The rules are the test. They separate the committed from the curious. They are the path by which thoughts become deeds and dreams become results. Every time you act in alignment with your purpose, you reinforce belief. This is the hidden power of action. It not only moves the world, it shapes your mind. Each small win builds momentum. Each step forward increases confidence. Action silences doubt. When you act in accordance with the rules that govern growth, hard work, honesty, focus, persistence, you give your subconscious mind the message that you are serious. That message alters how you think, how you feel, and how you behave going forward. This creates a cycle of growth that accelerates over time. Your thoughts are like seeds. The rules are the soil, and action is the sunlight and water. Without action, the seed dies in the ground. With action, it grows roots, then stems, and then blossoms. Most people never see the harvest because they never take the steps required to nurture what they've imagined. They plant an idea, wait for magic, and abandon it at the first sign of difficulty. But those who commit to the rules, who water their ideas with disciplined effort, will inevitably see the results of their labor. It is important to remember that results are rarely immediate. The world does not reward action instantly, but it does reward it inevitably. It is easy. When you follow rules like a focus daily on your goal, or reject distractions and improve 1% every day, you may not see changes at first. But behind the scenes, foundations are being built. Habits are being formed. Skills are being refined. Skills are being refined. And suddenly, what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. The world begins to reflect what you've been building in silence. Nothing in life worth having comes without effort. But effort, when guided by thought and disciplined by rules, is never wasted. Never wasted. Even when the result is not what you expected, the experience gained becomes a tool for the next step. Every action taken teaches. Every rule followed strengthens. You become not just a thinker, but a builder. Not just a dreamer, but a doer. And therein lies the key to changing your destiny. You do not wait for permission. You do not wait for perfect timing. You do not wait until the fear goes away. You act today, now, in this moment. And you do so according to rules that are proven, principles that are eternal, and values that are unshakable. With each step you change, not only the outcome of your life, but the person you become in the process. So think boldly, imagine wildly, but above all, act courageously. Let your actions be the proof of your purpose. Let your behavior be the evidence of your belief. Destiny is not a stroke of luck. It is the accumulation of right actions, repeated over time, aligned with a clear vision, and governed by unbreakable rules. When thought meets action and both are guided by purpose, destiny does not merely arrive. It is created, step by deliberate step. And